What if stress wasn't real and all it is mislabeled energy or electricity in your body, and that you can go from red to green in a single heartbeat? In this video, I'm going to talk about the myth of stress and the experience that we all suffer with and that has been killing us, causing heart disease and all sorts of things like that, has just been a myth. Right, and of course, this isn't medical advice. This is just information. Right, so I want to check in with you. So many people think that stress is a thing. If I said to you, go and find your stress from work and bring it home, or alternatively, I said, leave it in the car, don't bring it in the house, how would you go about doing that? The misunderstanding about stress is that it's a nominalization. In other words, stress is an action. It's not a thing. It doesn't really exist. So what stress is, it is a behavior. It is when you place stress on something. In the same way as when you go to gym and you put stress on your muscles, that is stressing your muscles. So you can do the action of stressing. So now that I've turned it into an action, you have the freedom to decide or something that you don't want to do, right? But if we want to really understand it, we need to go one level deeper in our understanding of stress. All right, but the clock's ticking, so let's see if we can get this done. So if we start thinking about stress and what that really is, going to work and having stress at work, what that stress is, you creating pictures in your head about outcomes that you don't want. Right, so let's use an example. So let me share this story with you. Some time ago, I was on the way to the airport, and then what happens is I hit traffic, as you would. And any person would then say, in that moment when I approached that traffic, it caused stress. In other words, I was having those feelings of overwhelm, of stuckness, of helplessness, of not being able to do anything about my circumstances. What was happening below consciousness was that I was creating horrendous pictures of everything that was going to happen to me once I missed the flight. And I had to, below consciousness in my head, experience all the disappointment that I would feel, all the disappointment that I would create by letting other people down. And this was way before the flight was going to take off. And yet I was feeling all these feelings, experiencing what we call stress. What happens in that moment is that the body doesn't know that what you're visualizing in your head hasn't happened yet. So it starts creating all the stress hormones and all of those chemicals. Your heart rate increases, your blood flow to your brain decreases, the blood flow to your organs decrease. And so the impact of that you start feeling unresourceful. And if you can imagine that your brain is a bit like an orchestra, there are many parts. In fact, there are 19 different parts to your brain. And each one of those parts can vary in this frequency that it runs. Right, so what is happening here is that now you move into that space where the frequencies in the different areas in your brain start escalating. And once that happens, that would be the same as taking an orchestra that is playing smoothly to changing in a way that every person in that orchestra starts playing at their own rate and volume and playing their own tune. It will just create a whole cacophony of noise, right? You now can get stuck and you start reacting and you start going on tangents about the economy, about your relationships, about various other things. Everything in your life just feels wrong in that moment because you get captured by that state almost completely. In recognizing that you've gone into this state, and ideally just before that happens is a better time, grab that pattern and change it by using this breath pattern. It's a 4-4-6 breath pattern, and that immediately helps to stabilize the nervous system and calm you down.
And so do that with me now. And how you do that is you breathe in for 4, you hold for 4, and then you breathe out for 6 counts. Right? So do that with me. So let's go in for 4. So that's in, 2, 3, 4, and hold, 2, 3, 4, and out, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And now breathe normally again.
And notice what that feels like. Notice what happens in your nervous system when you do that. And so what that does is it takes all of that energy, and all of that electricity in your body, and it redistributes it, right? This is something that is very useful to do if you are stressing about something, if you've got meetings that are coming up, or before an interview, this breath works really well. If you're in the middle of exams and you feel that stress coming up, this is a great breath for that. And even when you're late for your flight, this is also a great breath. All right, so now we have taken that stress from red to green in under 5 minutes. So remember, it's not stress, it's stressing. The minute you stop doing it, that brings your nervous system right back into homeostasis. All right, next time we are going to speak about cortisol. So if you want to hear more about that, click the like and subscribe, and looking forward to seeing your comments and hearing your experiences.